Hello, my beautiful fashionistas. Welcome back to Yvonne Winifred UG. Hope you're all doing fine wherever you are. So let's make this dress. I have this Ankara cotton fabric, and this is my top pieces. I have my front and my back already folded into two. Each one is folded into two. On top here, this is the back and this is the front also. So since this is a short dress, the front, which is down, it has 2 inches button allowance. I think you're seeing here 2 inches button allowance, and I'll be folding it like this to finish up that button allowance. So now guys, from the top here, let me just draw a straight line. We'll be marking from there and also from this center back. Unfold there. So first and foremost, I'm marking 7.5 inches plus half an inch, 8 inches as the shoulder measurement, and 3 inches for the neckline width. So from the neckline width of 3 inches, I'm slanting by 1 inch this line, and I'm also adding straight away half an inch on top here like this as the sewing allowance along the shoulder. So for the neckline depth for the front, I'm marking 3 inches. Remember, the neckline width we used is also 3 inches for both. The back, I've used just 1 inch, and I'm curving simply like this, first for the back and also for the front. So the front is also 3 inches, and it is a curved neckline, simply like that. So for the half of the armhole measurement, I'm working with 8 inches for this size. So I'm creating a chest line here at 8 inches. So whatever I have here on top at the shoulder, I'm marking it down along this chest line, which is 8 inches, so that I connect these 2 points to carve out the armhole like that. So the bust measurement I'm working with for this person is 38 inches. Dividing it by 4, I get 9.5 plus 1 inch, which is the sewing allowance. But if you're going to use a dart, just add another 1 inch for that dart allowance. So I considered that also, so I added it there. And now I'm just going to carve out first the back armhole curve, and I'll be carving out the front armhole curve later. Remember, the back piece is on top, so we are considering the back markings first. So the nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. Dividing it by 2 is 4 plus half an inch for sewing up that allowance. So I'm marking 4.5 here, and I'm notching that point. That is where the darts will be. So along the waistline, I'm marking a quarter of the waist measurement, which is 8.5 plus 2 inches, 1 inch for that, and also another 1 inch is the sewing allowance. Then connect simply like that and cut out simply like this. So that is simply the top pieces. That's all we need for the top for now. And this is the front now. I carve out the front neckline like that. So this is the front piece, and I'm dividing it or cutting it into 2 parts. Remember, there's a button allowance. So guys, I'm going to go to the sewing machine and sew just by double folding by 1 inch, and sew along like this for these front pieces. And then after taking in the button allowance, I'll just be folding in like this. Measure half an inch from that fold for the dart, just half an inch, then take in the dart like that. So you have to measure where your dart is going to stop. It will be stopping 1 inch below the bust line, guys, for the front pieces. and 1 inch above the bust line for the back pieces. So for the back, I'll just simply take in the dots again, fold in like this at the wrong side, measure half an inch, and then take in the dart 1 inch above the bust line, and also the other side like that. And after doing all that, I'll just join both pieces, that is front and back, along the shoulder, just by half an inch here, half an inch here, and that will be all. Then I'll take in 1 inch at the side here, but not all the side, it will be just half of it. And after all that, this is what I have. So simply this is all. The dots are taken in from the back, the front, and I've joined along the shoulders, as you see. So now we just want to prepare our dress for the sleeves. So guys, here I measured 4 inches and I went in by half an inch to carve out the proper front armhole. Here I left some piece not sewn. We'll be finishing that later on. So this is what we have so far. So I have to get all this measurement all around. Whatever I get is what we are going to be using to cut out the sleeves. So the round sleeve measurement that I got after getting this measurement, guys, as I've said before, it was about 20.5 inches. So that 20.5 inches, I'm going to divide it by a constant we use for the full circle, which is 6.28, and whatever I got, which is 3.2. So 3.2, I'm going to add the length of the sleeve. So whatever length you're using for your sleeve is what you add to get the measurement of the fabric that you're going to be using for the sleeves. So I got about 13 inches, and this is my fabric for the sleeve. So you're going to measure that measurement, which is 13 inches in this case, and make a fold. And also from the top going down, you measure 13 and then also make a fold. So it is a square, a full square, that is 13 inches here, 13 inches all sides. So now from this closed edge, this apex, we are going to take the measurement we got after dividing the entire measurement by 6.28, which, remember, we got 3.2. So I'm marking 3.2 from the apex and then connect those points to form the opening or the armhole opening like that. So that is what we have. So from that opening, I'm now taking the sleeve length. Here you're seeing me marking 10 inches, but guys, I reduced it by 2 inches and I used 8 inches later on, as you will be seeing. So take about 8 to 7 inches depending on the length you want, but if you're using two, one is supposed to be shorter than the other. So one can be about 6 inches and the other can be 8 inches if you're using two parts of the sleeves, as you've seen in the picture. So I'm also going to add some allowance on top here and cut out there. So on top I added about 1/4 inch and cut out. Here I removed the 2 inches, as I've said before. So now this is the sleeve. So we need 2 sleeves. I'll use this one to cut out the other sleeve. So before starting to sew, you have to, try it in this opening and see whether it will fit properly. So this is what I'm doing here, trying it and see if it really matches with this opening that we have here, and it does. So it matches simply like that. So now I'm just going to determine where or how the sleeve will sit around that armhole opening. So from the shoulder here I just measured for the front 4.5 inches, and this is optional, you do what you want. And also from the back I measured from the shoulder, from the tip of the shoulder I measured 4.5 inches. So I'm going to make a small notch here, that is also optional, but I'll be sewing from that notch going round to the back, right sides facing each other for the sleeve. And then this top part I will be finishing it with a bias, strip, and also the other part of the sleeve will be finished by a bias strip. So this is it, guys, so far. So I've attached the sleeve at the downer part here. Remember, this upper part is open and we are finishing it with a bias strip. So remember, I told you I removed 2 inches off the length of the sleeve and I used what I removed as the bias strips. So this side I've already finished finishing the sleeve, one part of it, as you see. Oh god, my voice. Anyways, guys, we move on. So I've finished it with a bias here, and this is how I sewed. Let me show you. So I got my bias that is about 1.25 inches in width, and I sewed it the right side of the bias to the wrong side of the top, and then after I'm folding the other part onto the right side of the top like this to finish it up by just sewing on top, just a top stitch like this. So before every end of this bias I left about 1/2 inch for finishing the top part of the sleeve, for neatening my sewing. So I'm going to do the same this side of the sleeve, finish it properly, and we'll be moving on. So guys, also for the downer part, which is the gathered part, I have a fabric here that is 3 times the waist measurement, and after getting that I just divided it by 2, and I'm going to be gathering it up to stitch it onto the top part, that is back aside and front apart also. And then I will take in the sides, but one of the sides will be having a zipper, that is an invisible zipper, because we have no zipper at the back, so we need an invisible zipper at the side. So let me do that and come back. So this is it so far, guys. I've finished hemming the sleeves and also turning and finishing neatly my sleeves with a bias on top here, and I've also joined the gathered part of the back for this dress, as you see. And now for the front, guys, you have to make sure that you pin together the button allowance just the way that they will be after finishing. So I'm using a pin to pin them down together. That is what I want to show you now. And after pinning it together, overlapping, the button allowance should be overlapping from one side to the other. And then attach your gathered skirt piece onto the top to make it a dress. And after, double fold the hemline just by 1/2 inch to finish it very neatly, and then add an invisible zipper on the left side and also the collar. So guys, for the collar I have a link in the description box on how to make the collar. I will not be filming it now, sorry. So after all the sewing, the hemline is finished and I've added the collar. As you see, this is how the dress looks like. So this is the beautiful collar, link in the description. I have many videos of how to make beautiful collars. I just have to add buttons here and the dress is finished, guys. It came out so beautifully, very beautiful. Being the first time of making a cold sleeve, I love the outcome. I love the outcome. Here is where we're going to be adding an invisible zipper. I just pinned that opening. So this is it. It is a beautiful dress. You can recreate your own and tag me on Instagram at Yvonne Winifred UG. And also guys, this is the collar at the back. This is the back, looking beautiful also. You guys, the dress came out so beautifully, very beautifully. I love the outcome. I love the gathers. I love the cold shoulder sleeves, the collar, everything. So remember to subscribe to Yvonne Winifred UG, and also share the other videos that you've not watched before. And I'll be seeing you soon.